What is up, guys? Welcome back to part 2 of the TTR 110. So we're going to jump right into this real quick. So right here, guys, we made some nice billet frame covers. They actually act as a spacer for our swing arm. Now the trick to getting these on is put a little bit of grease on them. They actually naturally will just stick right to the frame. I just want to show you guys a close-up of our new billet swing arm. Now, these are going to be available for all the 110s, from the TTR to the KLX to the CRF. So we've got removable chain adjusters, we've got the billet guard on there. Of course, you guys have seen all of our rear end components in the past videos. So this bike is getting converted over to disc brakes. Same chain block as the CRF and KLX kit. Now we actually did change out the shock bolt, so it's going to get a new bolt with the kit. It replaces the stock pin that has a clip on it. I wasn't going to build my swing arm around that part, that's for sure. So yeah, guys, swing arm goes back on just like it would. Basically the reverse of your OEM setup, only you're adding those billet spacers on each side of the frame. So there's the new pivot bolt that's included with the kit. And you notice there's a billet washer that's actually going to act as a chain block retainer. So make sure that's on there before you slide it through. So right now we're just going to finger tighten the pivot bolt nut. And we're also going to get the shock bolt nut on there. Now the chain block pops right on. Basically, we just tighten that down with the Phillips screwdriver, get it torqued till it bottoms. All right, guys, it's time to get the rear end together. So we're gonna go ahead and get the rear brake disc installed on our billet hub. There's already some Loctite on the bolts, so don't worry about putting Loctite on those. Now just make sure you put the brake disc up with the countersunk side facing up so the head of the bolt can actually sink into it. Don't forget to add a little bit of grease under that seal. Now the short wheel spacer goes on the brake side. And then take your lug nuts off. Those come installed on the hub, and they're only finger tight, so very easy to take off by hand. Get your wheels slid on. And after that step, go ahead and torque your lug nuts back on. Once they're torqued, it's time to put your sprocket adapter on. So put some Loctite. I like the red Loctite on those bolts. Now I'm going to bottom everything with an electric impact gun just for speed in this video, because I'm trying to move quick for you guys. I know these videos can be kind of boring. Always go back and hand torque everything. You can't really tell torque with an impact gun, so everything's going to get hand torqued at the end. Now, if you guys want to know about torque specs, we have all that stuff available on our website, bbcbigwheels.com. Now, these sprocket bolts and nuts are a little bit tricky to put on. You basically just put the nut behind the sprocket with the washer. And those are locking nuts, so go ahead and just torque everything down. And again, guys, just go back and hand torque everything. I like to go about an eighth turn on each nut, just a little bit tighter on the sprockets especially. Now there is a flat machined on the swing arm now, so when you go to slide the caliper bracket on, it actually will stay. It's not going to fall like the old generation swing arm. We've got our billet chain blocks, of course, big bike style chain adjusters. Everything slides together real easy on these billet swing arms. I tightened up the tolerances, but because everything is so perfectly machined on our CNC milling machines, it's unbelievable how quick these go together. Now, of course, with the offset tire being wider, we have to offset the sprocket. So you're going to basically reuse your stock retaining clip. Now, we built these sprockets with a bearing carrier on the end of them. So that bearing is just simply going to slide into the sprocket. You're going to put the sprocket cover back on and reinstall the bolts that are supplied with the kit. I'll just go ahead and torque that down in a crisscross pattern. And then when you're done with that, go ahead and get your wheel aligned. It's time to get your chain on. So you're going to push your axle all the way forward. I like to lightly snug it all the way forward. And just get it ready for putting your chain on. So now you're going to take the chain that was supplied in the kit. And we're going to mark it, we're going to cut it to the correct length. Now, if you don't have a big grinder, I'm just showing in this video, you can simply just use a Dremel with a cutoff wheel. You can also use a bench grinder. There's many ways to break a chain. Yeah, guys, she's cut the size, so it's going back on the bike real fast, getting the master link installed. Now I'm just checking the chain tension. Make sure there is a little bit of tension. You're going to want to recheck this while sitting on the bike. Now, a little trick, just throw a rag in there to tighten your axle. It'll actually draw the axle forward against the chain adjusters and keep your tire square when you go to tighten it. Now, the best part of this kit, converting over to hydraulic brakes. So I'm going to show you guys some tricks about running the line on the TTR chassis. It's a little bit different than the CRF and the KLX kits. So you can see I'm just torquing the caliper down. Now I'm removing the stock bushing that comes on the line. There's no reason for those, we don't use them. And I'm inserting the cable guide. Now the swing arm has a nice little notch on it to actually align that. So go ahead and pull your kickstart lever off. There's a little hole in the back side of the frame. And yeah, I'm going to show you guys how easy this is. You just slide it through the hole in the back. Then you're going to work the brake line through the center. Now you got to get it above the breather that's on the motor. It's a little bit of a challenge getting it aligned, but it goes pretty quick. You guys can see I utilized the pivot bolt and one mounting location on the cover of the engine. Now there's going to be a washer that goes behind that just to act as a bushing. I didn't want the bracket riding directly on the cover. And then go ahead and get your brake line ready. You can see the angle of the fitting. It's angling away from the rear master cylinder. And I'm just finger tightening everything for now. So now that that's on there, it lets me line up the master onto the bracket. So I'm not going to be fighting the line now that it's already pre-installed. So go ahead and tighten that down. Next up, get your pin on your brake pedal. Now you guys are going to notice in this kit, we're using the stock brake pedal. I actually like the brake pedal design on this. I was able to make it work with the hydraulic brakes. So it's a little bit different than our CRF and KLX kit in that aspect. I believe everything fit a little bit better on this bike. Of course, this was the first one to mock up the billet swing arm on, which was nice. So we're doing upgrades on these kits every time we design a new kit. Now, when you're adjusting your brake play, I like to put the nut in the clevis all the way at the end of the threads and then snug it up. I don't want to have any play in that pedal. So you want to make sure you're getting as much throw on that as possible when you're hitting the brake pedal. And then, of course, just check for movement after putting your cotter pin on. You can check the rubber seal on there and just make sure it looks right when you're compressing the brake pedal down. And then just go back and tighten your banjo bolts up on the master and the rear caliper. Of course, guys, after that, you got to bleed your brakes. Now, I'm going to make a separate video on that. So right here, you guys can see we're just installing some spacers and offset brackets on the shrouds. So instead of trimming the shrouds up on this bike, I decided to do that. But man, this thing just turned out unbelievable. So stay tuned for a follow-up video, guys. I'm going to actually do another walk around on this kit and point out some features that actually weren't in this video. Now, thanks for watching. If you guys have any other questions, just put it in the comments in this video or head over to bbcbigwheels.com. Shoot us an email, give us a call, and we'll answer any of your questions. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video.